Can't believe 2024 is almost over. Got an official sort of New Year's battle tomorrow. Today, we're just having some fun here with Loopy's Dark Elves into Sega's Khorne. And it's going to be fun, mostly because of this unit right here, Sign of the Red Ruin, Regiment Renowned Bloodrack Meme-dusa. Bloodracks are a pretty interesting choice. They've got a really nice ranged attack, decent anti-large melee stats, although relatively low HP. Here it's going to be used along with Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. We've got some Cold One Dread Knights here as well, and some Dread Spears, along with Malekith mounted on a Cold One as well. Very interesting choices all the way around. Nice wide army with still some amount of quality. Got a spread between various units and plenty of counter skirmish to try and move up and take out that Hellforged Bellowers. We've got some Bloodletters here. One Skull Reaper and one Wrathmonger. Yep, the Bloodwake Berserker, Regiment of Renown, 3 Blood Beasts, and a Blood Speaker. No Karnak. Definitely is a solid choice, given that Dark Elves tend to have pretty strong caster lords. Like in most matchups, you're going to see a caster lord combination, whether that's usually a Supreme Sorceress, but definitely Malekith Marathi might make a wild appearance as well, occasionally. But right now, you can see that the skirmish tool is moving up, doing some nice work on whatever they can get their hands on. The Bloodletter's certainly paying the price. The Hellforged Bellower is returning fire effectively on the Siren, but the Siren's actually not attacking the Hellforged Bellowers. They kind of pushed it up and out of position, but now looks like a lot of the value being used on the Bloodletters there, which are not the cheapest infantry unit to just be getting wrecked by missiles. Speaking of getting wrecked by missiles, another direct hit there on the Siren. As she moves away, has taken more than half her HP in damage. But let's see, that nice little gaze attack spread around sends plenty of Bloodletters tumbling to their doom. You rise and continue to fight, but Loopy gonna kind of spread out here, disrupt Khorne's advance as well as they can. Repeater crossbows do get in range, again, to continue pressuring the Hellforged Bellowers. Seagoth sees he's kind of falling into a trap a little bit here, about to get surrounded. Actually kind of pulls back slightly, just to kind of reorient himself, which will allow some of these skirmish tools a little bit of an opportunity to try and get some more value, more Bloodletters being blasted by the gaze of the Siren as it continues, or she rather, continues to get hammered by the Hellforged Bellowers. So both players kind of getting some value back on each other. We look here, Bloodrack is at 800 value, and the Hellforged Bellowers definitely getting the better of the trade right now. But Dark Riders starting to make their presence felt a little bit as well. Siren's going to charge in, try and finish off some of those Bloodletters in melee. And right now, Seagoth's wishing probably that he had some Marauder Horsemen. Throwing axes would have been very useful in trying to maybe get at those Cold One Knights, apply a little bit more range pressure, the Dread Knights in particular. Pretty good choice right now, I think, because of the changes. Both Seeker and Lizard Cavalry got some changes under the hood to make them more impactful. You can see, actually, it's a little bit hard to tell, but the base is, I think, slightly smaller or something like that. Basically, the effect is that more of their unit models can get in contact and actually do their attack animations, so they just generally perform much better than in the past. Yeah, we've seen it quite a bit, especially with Seekers, but just a devastating Soul Stealer coming in here. I said devastating. It's Khorne, so it's not going to do an insane amount of damage, but it definitely hits a lot of units, so best possible value, pretty much, given the situation. A little bit of gaze analysis as well on those Bloodletters. And right now, Khorne relying quite a bit on that Hellforged Bellowers, but it's just about out of ammunition. Yeah, in fact, are out of ammunition on it, so I'm going to have to try and figure out a way to engage here. Let's fast forward a little bit as this skirmish phase continues to play out. And you see Khorne here not necessarily just going straight at the center of the Dark Elf formation, but rather trying to swing around, get to a point. But even with all of that maneuvering, Dark Elves have the mobility to still just get a nice full surround basically here. So Blood Beasts and Bloodletters engaging in melee here. Dark Elves is definitely going to be overmatched in that way. But the Dread Knights, another thing, is going to be helping to even things out. Yeah, big old Soul Stealer coming down on this flank. Wrathmonger's mixed in here as well. Quite a bit of value on both sides, to be honest. Bloodspeaker also pops his little AoE damage there. Murderous Exhortation. It's not going to do too much, but it helps, certainly. Every little bit helps. The Skull Reapers, though, just kind of hung out here to dry. Get absolutely torn apart by Dread Knights and everything else. Yeah, Malekith moving in to terror routing them, I guess. Or no, I guess the Siren, yeah, still alive here somehow. despite taking so much damage. About 700 HP left, still able to move in, get some good terror routes. We see there on the Blood Beasts and on the Skull Reapers a little earlier. So just getting some leadership damage done. The Dread Knights, though, definitely got absolutely hammered by the Berserkers here. Wrath of Khorne being used to juice up their stats as well as the Blood Beasts. So in Khorne and melee, absolutely fantastic, especially this unit in particular. They are peerless, absolutely best in class infantry unit in the game. But all that being said, will they be able to hold out against this significant onslaught? Right now, pretty much all their support units are getting folded up and put in a trash can. The Siren of the Red Ruin also somehow still alive with only 300 HP, getting her revenge on the Hellforged Bellowers. A few key gaze attacks there, helping to speed its passing. And at this point, it's basically just the Blood Berserkers and, yeah, and the Speaker, I guess, for the time being. But Malekith is slowly but surely trying to hone in on him. Although taking some beatings from the Berserkers in the process, does manage to get in contact with the Blood Speaker here. Wow, Malekith is very tiny compared to these big Khorne boys. Is it me, or is Malekith just, like, way tiny for some reason? He looks downright minuscule, even compared to the Dread Knights. Is there a bug here? Did something go wrong somewhere that I didn't notice? Someone comment down below. Why is Malekith so small? It's actually kind of a benefit to him, to be honest. It makes him less of a target for missiles. It makes him easier to saturate in friendly infantry, so he takes less damage. But yeah, absolutely tiny Malekith. That's hilarious. Anyway, yeah, the skirmish tools for Loopy and end up getting some really nice value, as to be expected with that kind of extended skirmish phase there. Same must be said of Seagulls, though. I mean, Hellforged Bellowers, you would expect to absolutely bring home the bacon, and they did. Wrathmongers also, I guess, technically don't pay for themselves, given how expensive they are, but pretty good value on them. The Blood Beasts also, they do okay. Not quite enough value at the end of the day to win out, and definitely the Bloodletters just getting skirmished down is one main weakness of theirs. Obviously, hindsight 2020, but given the Dark Elves are a pretty potent kite faction, I would probably try and build into the anti-kite a little bit more than Seagulls, relying quite a bit on the infantry, although I do understand Bloodletter is super cost-effective against everything that the Dark Elves can bring in terms of infantry. I do think the focus on anti-infantry is probably a mistake in general. This is probably a topic for another day, but the meta right now seems to have shifted in a lot of matchups to like minimum amounts of infantry, a lot of like skirmish, mobile, and mobile monsters like cavalry and such. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that continues to play out, but right now, sort of understanding that, again, there's quite a bit of anti-infantry spend here that could just be spent on more counter-mobility, anti-skirmish, you know, maybe some more like flexibility, furies, doggos, all that stuff. But that's going to be it for me for today. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolutely fantastic year for me, and we're going to keep it going in the new year of 2025. So be sure to stay tuned tomorrow for the, I guess, year wrap-up video and more to come. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.